Hello everyone. So in our last session, we discussed how we can use VS Code or Visual Studio Code for our IBMI development. How we can connect to the IBMI server and how we can like create filters. First of all, how to create a connection, how we can uh, create or edit the sources, how we can compile it. We have seen like our IFS browser also, how we can look at the IFS browser. Today we'll be working with local repositories. This local repository means we will be doing development on our local machine or our local system, that is our own personal desktop. Okay, so and then we'll discuss on how we can use this local programs, locally developed programs to like how we can move to IBMI, how we can compile it, and how we can run or debug this one. So Git is a source control. These local repositories will be useful in Git later, and how we can use that for our like development and all those part we will discuss later. So this local repository we will discuss it first just to see how we can use it, and once you get familiar with this, then we'll introduce Git with all of you. So when we open our VS Code, if you look at the left side of the screen, we can see the Explorer. So we can click on the Explorer, and here, like this is our workspace. And here we have one option called open folder. Another one is a clone repository. So this clone repository we will discuss it later when we use the Git. So for now, I'll just open a folder, and let me just go to my D drive, and I'll create a new folder. I'm adding this one. So when we are adding these files, these files are not trusted. So we have to just like it will ask us for a warning. Do you know whether this who is the owner of in these folders? So it's only for security reasons. So that does not have any scripts or anything, malwares or anything. So we can just click on yes. So we can see the VS Code demo. The folder is created. I'll show you the same folder on my machine over here. So we have this VS Code folder created here. So for now, I have connected to IBMI. Like before that, we'll be doing some local development. So I'll write some couple of programs, and then we'll see how we can use it. So you can hit like Control New. You can select the language. So I'm selecting RPGLE, and once we select it, we'll um, write a code, sample code. I'm declaring a couple of numbers. We'll do some arithmetic operations to see how the data we can say it. So this is our simple program which we have written. I'll just save this one, and when like I'm saving this, I'll just save this as a rpg pgm1 dot rpgle. So now we can see this program we have uh, did it locally. So so once we develop the like do this one, we can move this to our IFS or our code like on IBM itself. So I'm connecting to my lab server. So you can see like before connecting to the AS400 itself, I have written this logic. Yeah. So it is now connected to logic. It is connected to my IBMI. We can see this object browser, IFS browser, everything. And what I want to do is like this current folder, what program I have created. I'll just drag it to my IFS path. Okay. And I'll show you the path also. So we can see this file is now created, the program or the source is moved here, and we'll just see, do we have any program with this name? So we don't have any program with this name. So once we move this, uh, as we discussed, like we can compile the program directly from our object browser. So similarly, we can compile our objects from IFS browser also. So I'm just opening this file, and here again we have to do the take action, control E for actions, and I'm creating a RPG program. Okay, and when I'm creating, so we can see, I'll just open the output. So this is the command it is used: create bind RPG program, Avdut library RPG PGM1, and this is the source it has taken from. Okay, and rest of the other options. So many of you might not have used compiling from IFS. So when we do the create bind RPG, like any create commands, so we can see this program and we see the source. Most of the times we just use the source file to compile it, but we have an option for using the stream file also for the compilation. So this using this stream file I have compiled. So this I can see it here. The path is home output and rpg pgm1 dot rpgle. So if I do now the work object, so yeah, so this program is now created. So this is how we can do local development. We can do it for any development, and why we do this local development. This will be explained later in our Git sessions, and when we are using local repositories for Git. And now we will compile one. We have compiled this program, so we will run this program, and we'll see how the output comes. Okay, so when we see on this screen, we on the top right side we can see this run debug as a batch program. So we can click on that. So when we click, a prompt will pop up for compiling. If you want to call the program and if you want to pass any parameters or anything, I'm just calling it. So when we call the program, the control will come to our first line, and then now this is on IBMI. I'll go to run and debug session, and in this run and debug session, we can see we have local variables. Those are already defined. So all by default, all the indicators will show up here, though I'm not using any indicators in this program. And after that, I'm seeing the variables, the number one, number two, and result. All three variables are there, and I have initialized this variables. So when the program starts, that time itself, I can see these numbers are here, like shown in here. So let's step in. So here also the step in is the same like how we do on our IBMI or ACS screen. Like we have to use F10, and now we are at the calculation step. We can see this result value is 0. So when this statement is executed, so now we can see the result is 10. And yes, so after this, once the program is completed, it will exit from this program. And once it is exited, we can see the all the variables and everything is gone. And now we may have some questions, like sometimes when we debug a program and I want to some change some numbers, so can we do that in this debug session or not? So for example, I'm doing like number one is 36, number two is initialized to 2, and I want to change it before this calculation itself. I want to change it to like say 4. Okay, so let me just, yeah, I'm just calling this program again. So when we come into this program, so in the all the variables are already initialized, and in our ACS screen, we can just on the command line we can just change eval and this number, and we can change it to whatever number we want. So as in this step we don't have any command. So what we can do in our variables itself, we can just go and double click on the variable number which you want to change. So currently it is 2. I'll just change it, and I'll change it to say 6 and just hit enter. So we can see this number is changed now to 6, and we can do like F10, and we can see the result is also again is correctly calculated. So this is how we can change the variables in a debug session also. And this is how we can use our debugger. I will show you one more program, how this like when we run the program we can see this variables are real time updated. So I want to give show you one more demo. For that, one more program I'll run and I'll show you. Yeah, so this program, what I'm showing is again from the object browser. So this is written in AS400, and uh, like we can see it here, like all the variables are declared. And this is an example of a template DS. So here I have the address data structure as a template. As it is template, we cannot initialize any values to it, but we can declare use this template ds in like for different uses. So for example, if we have some common data structure which is used across, so we can put it into copybook and use it everywhere. And so this declare data structure, I have done one is a mailing address, one is shipping address, and both will follow the attribute of address. And when I hover the cursor over address, I can see this address is a data structure and what type of it is. So it is a template DS. So let's run this program. So using this debug function, so what I feel is a like good option is I'll just hide. Uh, so we can see this data structure values. So currently both are null, like empty. Those does not have any values. But if you are in AC screen and if you want to see any value of any variables, so you have to just evaluate every time to check the value. So this is one of the benefits. So all the variables, those are declared, everything we can see on this screen, on the variables part of the in run and debug. So what I'm doing is like I'm assigning some values to street one, street two, city, state, and zip. So as the statement is executed, immediately the values are updated real time, and we can see it here. So here again, like doing eval, it's not required. So we can just see what the values are there in that field. Yeah. And similarly, I'm just assigning all the values. So our first data structure, the mailing address, that is completely populated, and we can just see here all the values are updated: house one, street one, city name, state name, and zip. So the same thing, what we can do, we can just hover our cursor to on the any variable at any time, and we can see the values of it, what it has. Okay, so this is also a good feature we have. We can make use of it. So for example, if we have like say like hundreds of variables in here, so no need to scroll through and find. So just in program, wherever you are, you can just hover the cursor over it and you can see. So this ds has values, and this ds, I can see it's empty. And on this statement, I'm just evaluating one data structure to another, and you can see now currently it is empty. And whenever this data is like we evaluate, immediately all the values are populated over here. So this is how we can debug the programs in our um, using VS Code. So there is one limitation to this. So this debugger will not work for programs which are using screens. So we are exploring, like, is there any way to do that, or how we can how this can be accomplished. But for now, if we don't have any screen programs, and then we can try using this as like debugger option also. And for this debugger, we have to set up some uh, uh, we have to start some services on our machine to start it as to start the debugger and its debugger services. So those I'll just explain at the end of this like session. Okay. And so this starting or ending the sessions, whatever we have, that we have to, like, we can do it on our some lab server and all, but we will not do that on like client machines. So we will get the client's confirmation, then only we can do it. So along with that, I want to show you one more feature. So when I'll just open one sub file over here. So this is on display file I have written, and this I can see like this display file is there. So currently we don't have any option of designing anything, but we can just write entire display file in here. And there is one another feature which we can make use of, is like so this is a record format footer. And in the above this record format, we can see the option of preview footer. So if we click on that, we can see this is how it will look on our AS400 screen. So this previews also we can see. So this we can see for each and every record format. So this is my sub file, and on sub file, if you just hover cursor on any variables, we can see. So for example, when we are designing, if we want to see what is the variable name, so we have to go and put a question mark in front of it, and then we'll see what is the variable and what is the length of it. So here we can just move a cursor over that and we can see. So this is product number, and it's starting at position 10, 15 on the screen. So similarly, like we can go to other and we can see the same things. And if we move over this label, so it says like it's a constant, and where it is starting. So this is how we can preview the record formats. And if you go to the top of the like sub file, or like any display file or printer file even, so we can see this preview all. So this preview all will give us the idea of entire screen, how it would look. So here we can see all the variables and constants and everything. So this is how it would look on our screen. So this is one another feature which we can make use of to, like, in our means we can develop the subfiles or display files, printer files, but display files program we cannot run it for now on VS Code. So we are looking on how we can run it, and whenever we get some information, we'll share it with you in upcoming sessions. So let's discuss about the debugger, what we have, like how we can see the debug and um, how it works. So when we set up a debugger, so I'll just go to the extension and I'll open this extension. So this IBMI for debug we have, right? So it requires some uh, PTFs to be installed on our system. So from IBM version 7.3 onwards, we have inbuilt PTF. But even in some cases, if it is not there, then we have to get those installed, and these are the names for each of this for 7.3, 4, and 5. um, these are the PTFs which we have to choose. And after that, I'll just go to run and debug mode, and I'll show you this debugger 1.0.0. So this is a version of a debugger, and we have to start some services on the system. So we can see like this debugger server is currently submitted, and like debug services also we have submitted. So we can actually submit a new services, or we can just stop this and or restart this. So restart will just, in some cases the service stops or not working correctly, in those cases we can just restart these services, and it will have if we can do the same part. Okay. And so this is about the debugger. So we'll have all this documented and shared with across everyone how we can do that. And along with that, I forgot to mention one more thing. So when we are debugging, so along with the variables, we can add watches also. So if you want to add a watch variable, so you can add that variables, you can watch it, and the same way how we do the debug, we can do the debug in the program. Let me just okay. So I have added the debug watch on this variable. So here you can see this is like continue is a F5, so we can just continue. Like step over is a F, like F10. What we do like step by step. This is like step into. So if you are calling some other program or some other procedure, so we can use F11 to go into that one, and shift F11 for out, doing like coming out of that. And this is another feature of restarting. So if you do control shift and F5, it will restart this debug. So at any point if you are there, it will restart. So I'll just continue for now. So when the program is continued, so yeah, let me just, so if you want to add the breakpoints, so we just go on in our ACS, we go on that line and press F6. So here it is very easy. We can just go and click on the line number. So it will just add a breakpoint over there. So I'm just continuing this one. So um, yeah. So I have added a breakpoint over here, and it say shows with a like a red dot. I'll continue, and so we can see like it is currently at the breakpoint and it is stopped. So the watch variable is changed. Yeah, so we can use the breakpoints also easily, and yeah. So this is how we can use this debugger